Hey there! Skills has been such a big talking point across 2023 and will continue to be. I wanted to do a quick video to show you how skills could be utilised in your Cornerstone portal. So this is Berry. He's a new starter to Lapland, so ready for the Christmas chaos to start. So as a first point of call in Berry's onboarding journey, he's going to log in and identify his skills in order to determine his future development and career path. So as this is the first time Berry is identifying his skills on his profile, he gets met with a skills wizard in order to help him identify his skills in the easiest way possible. So to step through the wizard, we can get started. So as you can see here, there are suggestions already showing around skills that it thinks that Berry might have. This is all based on AI and what it knows about Berry already. So Berry has a job description in against his position. There are other people that work in similar positions to him across the organisation, and also looks to his peers and the skills that they have already identified as part of their role. So this is really important as a first experience in the interaction with skills in the system. And this is where all your previous data cleanse and analysis and mapping will come into effect to really ensure that these first suggestions that show here are relevant, on point, and actually make sense to the end user. So I'm going to go ahead and select some. You can also add additional ones in here as well. It's now asking which of those skills does he want to develop. So he can identify the ones that he really wants to focus on in his career path. And just because the ones that they've already identified are showing doesn't mean to say you can't pick more here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pick those. And I'm also going to pull out some additional ones. If there is a skill that you have, but you don't want to use it, if you identify that, it means that you then won't get learning and development and opportunities around that skill because it knows you're not interested in that. So it's really crucial, as well as telling it what you do want to do, also what you don't want to do. So I'm going to pick a couple there. So as you can see, kind of the skills that Berry has, some of them have already been identified as critical skills, which is excellent news. You see all the proficiencies are rated as none at the moment, which is expected because he's brand new into his role. So at the moment, we can't see what the status is and where Berry needs to develop, but you can see what the expected ratings are for each of those skills. So it definitely needs to be working towards being Santa's little helper. In order to update that proficiency rating, we actually need to jump in and ask Berry to rate the skills that he wants to develop and rate the skills that he has in terms of where he thinks he sits against them. So we can do that up here against all our skills in one go. He now needs to rate himself on this fantastic festive rating scale just here. So we're going to say that it's Tinseltastic, Star on the Tree. And maybe needs to do a little bit more work on his incident management in case a child gets missed at Christmas. Nobody wants that. Following that, we're also going to rate Berry's interest in each of those skills. And so again, we get presented with a rating scale to say how much do we enjoy using Christmas lights at Christmas, and then how interested is he in developing that skill of Christmas lights. And we can see now the proficiency ratings have been added where he sits against the critical skills identified by Lapland. So great news is already above expectations. Project management, that's fantastic. And he's meeting the expectations of the other three skills, which is great. So he does need to work on his AI skills, marketing, and perhaps develop some modern languages in there as well. So we can quickly go in and identify that he wants to develop that skill. I think we all need to develop our skills on AI. So we can add those in as well very quickly and even rate those individually as well. So what else can we do with our skills on here? So we can have a look at each skill in its own right and understand what's involved with that skill. where we are currently rated, change that rating, and then we can also see what learning is related to that skill. So we can see here that it's already found some learning that might be of interest. I'm going to go ahead and request that learning for Berry. And we can see now that Berry's been registered on that piece of training. Now that all those skills have been identified, these will show up on his regular one-to-ones with Santa, and we can constantly review the skills, how they're developing, and how we can update the proficiency levels to meet those critical skills. So we are logged in as Mary Mischief. And Mary has worked at Lapland for many years now, but Mary wants to continuously develop. So we're going to jump in and have a quick check as to where she is on that journey. So Lapland have already identified what critical skills they need. Mary's previously been in and advised what skills she wants to develop, what skills she has, and any that she doesn't want to develop. She's also been in and rated the proficiency and interest against all those skills as well. So as you can see on our critical skills here, we've got above expectations for Mary and against artificial intelligence, which is excellent news. But she's got a little bit more work to do on customer service and making sure all those children are happy at Christmas. So within her skills right now, she can request feedback on them. So we're going to ask for some feedback for Mary. We're going to ask that those ratings are shared across the organisation. And I think we're going to ask Mrs. Claus for that feedback. You can select which skills you want to ask for feedback on, and we're going to put a name. So that will trigger an email to Mrs. Claus in the background, but also generate the unique URL there. We're also going to go ahead and actually compare all the skills. So we have all the skills that Mary's identified, her self-rating, her interest rating, and her enjoyment rating. And that feedback request that we've just sent will also ask for Mrs. Claus's feedback on that as well. So whilst we're in here, we can have a look, see if anybody's actually rated Mary on her skills, and can see that they have. So you can see that her peers, Noel has rated her, her manager, Santa Claus, and she's rated herself. So now she's looked at comparing her skills. We're going to go in and have a look at all the feedback that Mary has received. And we can see the feedback request that we've just triggered there is sat with Mrs. Claus, but also previous feedback that Mary has received. So we can see it was Noel. Then we can jump in there and have a look. Each rating and when it was given. So on the run up to Christmas, it's really important that Mary keeps Santa up to date with all the goings on, making sure that they have regular catch-ups. So they've already got a one-to-one scheduled in. And within that one-to-one, Mary can also now go in and review her skills within this meeting itself as well. So we've already identified, obviously, the skills that she wants to develop and skills that are progressing. But now, actually, whilst in this one-to-one, she can manage her skills as well. If anything has changed, she can update it. So we're actually just going to go in and update the rating on this customer service skill because Mary's been doing a lot of work on that this Christmas. And as you can see, Mary's customer service proficiency is now at the optimum level, ready for delivering all those presents to the children on Christmas Eve.